I think we need to have a conversation about how the law works.
This is a great example of a huge misconception regarding the Talmud and rabbinic interpretation. Let's listen.
And tell you that rabbinic interpretation is the same as the law itself. When you're actually looking at the law, you have to actually find the explicit statement, the words in the statute,
I want to hear what else he has to say.
that matrilineal lineage is rabbinic interpretation. And the reason being is because if you go into the Torah, you cannot find an explicit statement that explicitly states verbatim or in some way, shape, or form that clearly outlines you are Jewish only if your mother is Jewish.
Your misconception, and don't worry, it's a lot of people's misconception also, is they think that everything that is in the Talmud is rabbinic law. Let me explain something to you. The Torah is not written like Black's legal dictionary. It's not written like a statute book. You're not going to say, okay, section 6, article 10, and blah, blah, blah. It's not the way the Torah is written. The Torah has laws all over the place. The Torah does not waste words. Therefore, if part of a rule is here and part of a rule is there, that's how interpretation works. Now, before you skeptics lift your eyebrows and turn this video off and say, he's just an Orthodox rabbi trying to tell us something different about Talmud, give me a chance to explain. Let me give you a perfect example. We have a U.S. Constitution, and then we have case law. Now, anyone can read the U.S. Constitution, but let's say someone doesn't read the whole Constitution. Let's say he only reads part of the U.S. Constitution. He reads part of it, and he says, I know what it says because I read 2 lines. He does not know what it says because he read 2 lines. Then he goes and sees how judges interpreted, judges and lawyers who read the entire Constitution and know the entire body of law, and they go ahead and how they interpret. Now you can understand how interpretation works. Same thing with Torah. I believe you. You read the Torah from page to page, from cover to cover. Sure you did. However, when you analyze a specific verse, are you also incorporating every other verse that might be there? And let's give your actual example as your own example. You want to know, is matrilineality something the Torah says? The answer is absolutely yes, because in Vayikra it talks about a mother's lineage to her child. In Devarim, it says how a father does not have lineage. So it does not need to say in Vayikra the mother has lineage and the father does not have lineage. The Torah doesn't work that way. You bring an example of the tabernacle. The tabernacle was constructed, and yes, there are some specifics, but I'll tell you, there aren't a lot of specifics in a way also, because for instance, it tells you build keruvim. Does it explain exactly what the keruvim look like? No. You have to go to Yecheskel and know what a keruv looks like in order to know what the keruvim look like. When you read the psukim in Shemos, it only looks like the keruvim had 1 set of wings and 1 face. When you go to Yecheskel, you realize they had 4 faces, they had 4 wings, they had human arms, a human torso. Then you know what a keruv looks like. You can't know everything unless you know everything. And the rabbis helped on that. About 40%, I would say, of the Talmud is exegesis. It's not the rabbis adding laws that the Torah didn't say. It's rabbis telling you what the Torah did say. It's black letter law. Now, the fact that you're not smart enough, and I'm not smart enough to know that by ourselves, but we need rabbis who spent their entire lives in a yeshiva discussing it, and they figured it out, that's black letter law. The Talmud also has rabbinic law, things that rabbis enacted beyond that. That's true. I hope this helps. Any questions, let me know.